Yo, what's going on, BroTalk Nation, man? Tonight is that night, right? We finna get in here. We finna dive into your life, your couch, your situationships, your entanglements, all of that tonight. We got special guests coming on, and my brother Jarmarcus gonna do the intro. But man, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard the last two episodes, hey, you need to go catch them. You need to go back and replay them. I had to do it, and I got so much field juice to go with the drip, right? So, hey, you know how we do, Bro Talk Nation, man. We just gonna let God come in and do His thing, and hey, let's go. I'm gonna turn it over to my brother, man.
Hey, what's going on, Bro Talk Nation, man? Man, I can't tell y'all, I ain't been excited like this for an episode in a long time, but tonight I'm ready to go. All right, listen, let me go ahead and serve y'all the papers and the warrants so we can go ahead and get in your house and sit on your couch. All right, let me go ahead and give y'all the introductions. Y'all already know, like my boy E. He already said it's him. You already know me, Jarmarcus. But we got guests coming on. One of them is going to come on in a little bit. But I got to introduce my brother-in-law, Aaron Moore. If you don't know, he's repping Dallas. All right. He's out of Dallas, Texas. He's from Louisiana. Y'all might not know the city, but a lot of people know the city. Strawberry Festival of the world. All right. He out there in the boot. But you know what I'm saying? He's repping Dallas right now. Man, I'm going to let him go ahead and kick it in and give you a little bit about himself. Aaron, go ahead and let the people know who you are, man.
No, man. Well, first of all, let me just say thank y'all so much. I feel like my status has gone up a bit because now I'm on Bro Talk, man. I've been waiting on this, man. So thank y'all, Jarmarcus, for what y'all do, man. Y'all's ministry. Y'all really are serving the people well. So thank y'all for y'all's transparency, y'all's honesty, all that y'all do, man, to help brothers out, man. My name is Aaron Moore, man. I'm from a small town in Southeast Louisiana called Ponchatoula. You ain't heard about it because we just got a Walmart 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Population about 5,000-6,000, but we still strong. But I'm in Dallas, Texas now, man. I serve as a pastor of discipleship at Concord Church, and one of my primary responsibilities is I take care of everything that doesn't take place on a Sunday morning. But my joy, the thing I love most about what I do, is I get to disciple men. So we've got a men's ministry. We had a gathering before COVID that was about 350 men strong on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. And then COVID happened. And so we started meeting virtually. Doing that. So I'm just thrilled to be here. This is my speed, Bro Talk, and I can't wait to see what the Lord is going to do today. So thank y'all for having me. And hopefully I don't say nothing too crazy. All right.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man. Hey, once again, man, thank you, man. Hey, you already know your sister on here talking about Tangible Hope Parish is in the building. So you already know she wild up. But hey, I gotta go ahead and kick off the other warrant, the other papers to be served. My cuzzo's on here. Hey, listen, if you are in Atlanta and you don't know this man's name, all right, I know him by Greg. But the whole city of Atlanta, everybody down there know him about Gmeriq. If you haven't heard him on Instagram, man, the Grateful mixtapes. Hey, the boy is spitting. Hey, he got the new Instagram thing caught up that I love. I love to watch the Collins family, the gram and the Facebook posts and whatnot. But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to my cousin, man. Gmeriq, let the people know, man.
What's going on, man? I made it to Bro Talk, just like my man Aaron said. You know what I'm saying? This is an honor, to be a part of this. I'm not sure if y'all can see me or hear me. I'm just talking. We got a little storm going on down
you
here.
good. You good.
Okay, cool. I can't see y'all moving or talking or nothing, so it's like froze up on me. But we gonna do this, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all, for letting me join. Like you said, out here in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Raised in Texas. I was born in PAT, Port Arthur. You know what I'm saying? Raised there. Houston, Louisiana, A-Town, you know what I'm saying? Just the South, man. And it's been a part of my journey. And hey, man, I had to break away from the fam real quick. They all out in there and stuff like that. But hey, we gonna kick it, man.
Hey, appreciate you for joining, brother.
All right. Hey, thank everybody for everybody coming on, man. I'm just ready to let God do his thing. Let his voice be amplified and magnified on here. I know we're about to have an amazing time. Great ministry right here from so many different people that have walked so many different journeys. So you're going to hear something that relates to you. Like every story in the Bible, something or someone. Cool.
Good now.
Hey, so listen, man, all right, check this out, man. We're talking about, if you missed last week's episode, we were talking about, yes, you are lost. Tonight, we are talking about being lost in pressure. All right. It's something that everybody goes through, but no one wants to talk about it. There's so many pressures in the world that you don't know about. You can have pressure of just being an employee, a boss, a friend, a brother, a husband, being a lead pastor, being a disciple. There are so many pressures in today's world that we don't want to talk about. And it got me thinking, fellas. I started thinking about, I was driving literally down the road, right? And if you ever been in traffic, right? Have y'all ever been there sitting there wondering what caused the traffic like in front of you? Like you be like, man, who done got into an accident and now the whole highway is literally like backed up, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, it's hot. I just got off work. I'm frustrated. And I get to the front and only to find that there's a car broken down. Not in a crash, but it was just a car broken down in the middle of the highway. It got me thinking like, man, that's like a crazy place to like break down there, right? That's like, you would think that you need to break down on the side of the road or somewhere where you're not causing too much like trouble, right? But then it got me thinking, in our lives, we don't get to choose where we break down at. We don't get a choice to say, you know what? Let me pull over to the side so I don't cause a backup behind me. Let me pull over and don't break down so my family doesn't feel what just happened, right? And it made me started thinking about the car. That car, because of whatever pressure it was going through, pressure did not let it choose where to break down at. Pressure did not say, you know what, I'm gonna let you break down in this nice park where there's no one else around to see you break down. You're just gonna be able to break down, right? So that's where I'm coming at with today. I'm coming at when that pressure builds up with you and you get lost in it. You get lost in life of whatever's building up on you, and now you're at a point where you're about to break down, right? And it made me started thinking of this verse out of the Bible that I found, and it comes from literally out of James chapter 1, verse 2 through 4, out the Message version. And it literally says, consider it a sheer gift, friends. When tests and challenges come at you from all sides, you know that you are under pressure. Your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So that made me started thinking, just like that car that I saw that was broken down. It was faced with whatever pressure it came from all sides. And now its true colors are being shown. The car is broke down. That's what happens when pressure came. So I got to turn it over to y'all. Have y'all ever been in a spot in y'all life where all the pressure has stopped and you didn't break down in a place where you thought you were going to break down at? Like you thought, this can't happen right now. This cannot be the place where I'm going to let all this pressure build up and this is where I'm going to break down.
Whew. Oh, who on it first?
First thing I'll say is this. You know, Tony Evans has this quote where he says, balance is an illusion, tension is reality. And I think oftentimes we think that the place where we are going to be most of the time is this balanced place. But I mean, that's just not the reality. That's not the true tension of our walk with God. Tension is the reality that we walk in each and every day. It's pressure. And so in that passage that you mentioned in James comes right out of the gate, and that's the first thing he talks about after he introduces himself. Is he says, count it all joy, my brothers, when. Like, he didn't say if.
Yeah.
He didn't say at some point in time, but he says when. He says when you experience various trials. And the assumption on the table is that it's going to come. Trials are like, they're going to come. they're varied. The original language says it's multicolored. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know when they're coming. But the reality is there is some stuff you get just because you take up space. It's like those mailers you get that come to your house that says dear residents. Like you get it just because you take up space. And I think the perspective is, to your point, Jarmarcus, when you talk about pressure, if your perspective is either I'm going into a storm, I'm coming out of a storm, or I'm in the middle of it right now. If your perspective is it's going to come, then you will prepare yourself for the pressure moment. You will have a way of escape. When the car breaks down, it won't overwhelm you, but you'll start to go into motion to see, hey, all right, I've prepared myself. And if you've been walking with the Lord for a little bit of time, you will say, hey, this ain't the first time I've broken down. And you'll look back and say, hey, so what? Because as that text goes on, he says, count it all joy when you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And when endurance has its full effect, when it's worked this thing out, it's gonna make you complete. It's gonna make you
That's good.
I think that's the perspective that we gotta have, is that pressure isn't just designed to take us out, but actually it's designed to take us to a place where we're prepared for whatever comes our way.
That's good.
So yeah, man, I love the analogy of the car, because you don't know when it's gonna come. I'm just saying, like, you like in college, right? So I had this class, right? This physical science class.
Yeah.
It was two parts of it. It was a lecture and it was a lab, right? And so your boy was skipping the lecture, but when I went to that lab and they had them Bunsen burners I had to turn on, I had to figure out what to do with that. I ain't read no book. I ain't been to class. And so I didn't know what the heck to do. God works the same way, bro. He gives us time. He gives us so much time in lecture. He wants you to be in your word. He wants you to spend time with your brothers in Christ. He wants you to spend time at church. He wants you to really internalize these things, because the lab is coming. Like, you're gonna have to put that thing
like that.
And you don't know when it's coming. That's the thing about it. So, not to be long-winded, man, but I thought that was dope, man. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Hopefully that
I
helps.
like that. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like how you said, before I turn it over to Greg, man, I like how you said you use the analogy with the lecturing lab, right? Because everybody skips the lecture, like, man, I don't need that, man. Let me just get to the lab part and everything will work out. But the crazy thing is you miss the entire instruction in the lecture. So when you get to the lab, you know what? You're behind the class. People are already ahead of you because they heard their in instruction. And it's the same thing with life. Like, all of our instructions are in the Bible. How to be a parent, how to be a husband, how to be a wife, how to love, how to get through everything. And when we miss those lectures is when we show up to the lab of marriage and be like, oh man, I'm behind a class. And that's where you find yourself. I like how you use that one, man. That's a good one, man. Hey, so Gmeriq, man. So like, yeah, like, so with the pressure of, like how we just talking with the car and whatnot, have you ever found yourself in the same like way where, you didn't get to choose where you broke down at and it was, something new?
Breaking up a little bit. I think I heard what you said. Kind of piggybacking off, like what he said, and my experience going through, what I went through, it just kind of seemed like I didn't have a choice of, where, what happened to me, what I'm saying? It just kind of, some things just like happened, and I couldn't like really prepare for that particular experience. I know that we all go through certain things, and sometimes you try to prepare yourself, spiritually and mentally to go through trials and tribulations, and sometimes that's just hard. Like for me, I went through cancer twice, and trying to, I think the first time I went through it, I was spiritually a little bit more like prepared for it. What I'm saying? I was very optimistic. Went from chemo, every Wednesday, and then I went home. Then I went through remission, and then a year later, what I'm saying, I'm not feeling well again, so I'm just thinking, this can't be this again, what I'm saying. But then end up turning being, something more aggressive and going up another stage. So and it, coming back fast. So it's just like I got my faith just tested, you know what I'm saying, and it was a fight through that whole thing, man. I didn't know whether what was gonna happen, but I had like a spiritual mind state, or how I felt in my mind. I was just like, either way, I'm going home. When I leave this hospital, either way, I was like, I'm going home to be with my wife and kids, or I'm going home to be with God. And that was the outlook I had.
No, I like that.
Either way, I'm gonna be peaceful. I'm gonna be happy. So I took it upon myself, instead of moping around IV pole, walking around these hallways, just feeling like just complete crap, and just trying to think about like my kids every day, because I couldn't see them like that. It was FaceTime, just kind of like what we're doing. I don't do it justice than actually seeing the person, in person. And I just felt like, and then I'm going through these things and trying to think like, hey man, I feel like time is being taken away from me, because I'm sitting in the hospital, I'm looking on Instagram and stuff, kind of seeing stuff go on, and like, oh man, I should be doing that. All you build up, different spirits kind of pop in. You start doing comparison. You start, living a whole bunch of stuff to kind of creep in. And while I was there, I don't think that's not what God was trying to get me to do. He was trying to get me to focus on, like, what was my joy? Like, if this is like my remaining time, like what's the joy? Like, what is it all for? Like, what?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And my wife was there during the whole time. Is like, she never did leave, and if she did leave, she made sure somebody was with me. And I feel like me coming out of that, it just kind of like I just got broken down all the way down. That type of pressure being broken all the way down. It's almost like, when you go to them fairs, or you go to like a concert, and they give you like the little lights with the little necklaces or whatever, but you gotta break that junk, man. Break that junk, and then it light up. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I was broken all the way down, so I can come out there and just like shine and just be like just be a light. That's what I want to be remembered for. If I go today, I want everybody just to remember, yo, G, he was a light. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what he was going through at the time, I'm still show you God. You know what I'm saying? And we go through all this pressure, man. We come out gold. We come out diamonds, man. And I think that's, yes, Lord.
Man.
Anyway.
That's good, man.
Hey,
you said something, man. You said something. Pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds, bro.
Man.
Yes, sir.
It also makes diamonds. So I love that.
Break it, activate it. I like that.
Hey, E, go ahead, man, because I'm already ready.
Yo,
go ahead.
Hey, man, bro, when I say I got chills from the both of you guys, man, this is when God's presence is in the room, man. I don't get chills from like hearing somebody made millions of dollars. When I hear testimonies, that right there, if you don't know God, like on a personal level, know that when a person gives you a testimony from one-on-one encounter with God, that's the miracle. See, we looking for things to change, but the testimony, that's what gives your faith. Like, you stopping at Buc-ee's to get a fill up, right? If y'all know about Buc-ee's, it's a big gas station. A lot of them, it was on a movie that I didn't know till I got to Texas, but you get that fill up, man. And I thank God for you guys, man. So to piggyback off, I'm gonna start with Aaron, man. See, Aaron, man, this is how me and my brother's podcast come together. He talked about a car breaking down on the highway. Yeah. Last week I was on the road picking up my son. And while I'm sitting in standstill traffic, I'm sitting there like, my lane is not moving, but this lane is steady going. Yeah. Right? It's just going. And God said, and I just kept thinking like, You should get over in that lane to go to start moving. Like, why are you just standing here? I'm like, yeah, I should be over there. Ain't nothing coming. I got plenty of time to get over, but I didn't move. By the time I thought about moving, somebody was coming. And God said, isn't that just like your life? Like, you watching other people do things, but you're trying to see, I didn't tell you to move over there, but you want to move on your own time. See, and when I moved on my own time, guess what happened? The traffic stopped in that lane. And then this lane went to going, right? So understand that when you breaking down in life, when life is hitting you, like, don't move because you see somebody else move. Don't move on somebody else's testimony. See, Gmeriq gave you a great testimony. He beat cancer twice.
Wow.
Take what he did. See, you got to get the mindset. We look at the cancer part. See, we look at cancer as something to take us out. But see, God uses these things, these elements, like all these things as to show you, like, what was the person's mindset while they were going through? I never heard nobody's mindset while they were going through beating cancer twice. Yeah. If y'all didn't catch that, man, you missed it. But go back and rewind it because that was great. Now, to go with what Gmeriq was saying, man, God gonna put pressure on you, and He got to put you in this place to develop you. See, pressure makes you develop. It's just like when you take a picture. See, we used to iPhones and Androids and like instant picture, right? But back in the day, you know, I'm gonna show my age a little bit. I'm 36. I remember back in the 90s, we had the Polaroid. We had the clean.
Put that thing in there.
It spit out, and then you gotta hit it with the fan, right? Even before then, right? You had to take a picture. You had to take it into a dark room, and it had to develop. You couldn't bring it out too early. Because if the light hit it, it'd expose it and it'll mess it up. That's what pressure is. See, you could be in pressure right now, and you praying to God like, God, please get me out of here today. And God said, no, I need you to be steady. I need you to sit still, keep calm, and I'll fight whatever you're going through. But see, there's something in this storm that I need you to get. Yeah. I need you to develop right now. Pressure is built on you to develop you. Because hey, if you never did anything, if you never went through any pressure, when that time came, that clutch moment came, guess what? You wouldn't know what to do, right? We're going to take it to sports like we always do, you know. You know, I'm a LeBron fan. My brother's a Jordan fan, Kobe fan. But hey, Kobe worked on his game. Them guys in the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, all them professional athletes, they work on the shots that we see, the big clutch moment. We catch the moments, but see, you didn't catch the millions of shots that they shot and they missed.
Yeah.
You didn't see the development of the footwork to put them in that position so when they go and take that shot in a clutch moment, they're comfortable.
Man.
See, God is putting pressure on you so you can be comfortable when that test comes. Hey, like Aaron said, either you in a storm, you coming out of a storm, or you dead smack in the middle. Yeah. But see, when you know that God is on, if you keep your focus on God and let God minister to you in your life, and you just obey, you're gonna be like Gmeriq. He said, "Look, I'm gonna just focus on the joy. What makes me happy in this moment? See, what people what people thought about me counted me out. But what God said, see, the light that shines in you is gonna be the miracle."
Man,
bro.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, go ahead, man. Because I'm telling you, I'm just taking a pause right now.
I think when we talk about pressure, when we talk about trials, I think one thing we forget is that every trial, every pressure that we have, it ain't off the rack. It's tailor made.
Hey,
it's measured. It's measured. It's tapered to your fit. It is your exact fit. It's tailor made to you, because if your neighbor was dealing with that type of pressure, they probably would have went on home to be with the Lord. They probably would have pulled their hair out. But God knew exactly. This is the hard part. God knew exactly the type of pressure you needed to go to in order for Him to get you to be the type of person that He wanted you to be. So the whole time he's tapering that thing up for you. And he gave you it because he knew it would fit you. And then once you outgrow that thing, he's got another one for you to get you to the. I mean, that's what God does. That's literally what the Lord does. You know what I'm saying? I was clowning around. You know, my son, he's only 2 months old. I was clowning around, and I'm holding him, and I put my hat on his head. Right? He can't fit that. But one day he'll be able to. That's what the Lord does to us, man. He gives us these crowns, and they so loose.
Yeah.
But he wants us one day to be able to grow into them things. And that just comes from pressure, man. That comes from pressure, man. The other thing I want to say about pressure, man, is that even though it's tailor-made for you, you ain't coming out of it until God wants you to come out of it.
That's it right there.
And that's the hard part of it. That same book we talking about, James, at the end of the book, James chapter 5, he closes it out by telling us to be patient.
Yep.
He says, be patient and consider the farmer, how he does. Literally, the farmer does every single thing that he can do. Everything he can do. Cultivates the ground, tills it, does all, put the seed down. But then there's something he can't do. He can't make it right. He got to wait on God to do that. That's the only way the crop is going to come. And as it goes on, he says, don't grumble or complain. Like, it ain't just being patient. It ain't just waiting, but it's how you wait. Man, G, you hit on some stuff that was so good, man. You were like, you said your perspective shifted.
Yeah.
And it was like, what's the joy in this? I was like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
That is the place that God wants to get us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That we like, yo, this pressure is tough.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is not easy. It ain't easy. But listen, it's Juneteenth, and we celebrate 3 things being on this call. We Christian, we Black,
and
we men. But those 3 things make us endangered species.
Man.
That's real.
And I'm just being real.
That's real.
That's pressure right there. That's pressure right there.
Yeah.
But the reality is, man, the way we go through this thing is gonna allow us, the way we handle this pressure is gonna make it, that's gonna be the thing that matures us and strengthens us. And so we can look back. Like my son, when he looks at me, when he gets older, he's gonna be like, man, my dad withstood the pressure, and now I got a model to look at.
That's good.
Yeah, so
that's good.
I just wanted to say that
man, we needed that. Hey, listen, man, I have to hop in here because, man, I'm telling you, I love when a plan comes together. I'm telling y'all right now, the first point I wrote down, I didn't even give my point out because it just felt like it was gonna come. But my first point literally came from the Lit Cuzzo, and I literally wrote down press to get broken. That's what my first point was. Press to get broken. And I was thinking about it because in the military, you know, we have these things, these chem lights, and we use these chem doing evolutions or like special things, right? And the way we activate it is just what my wife wrote in here. We had to break it. We have to break it so we can see. And I was thinking when you said it, because that, you know what I'm saying, it's so crazy that as we're going through pressure, we don't know that we're getting pressed to get broken so that the light can shine. And Aaron, man, you made it perfectly clear, man. I saw some the other day and it made me think, like, we all know that, you know, there's our steps, right? We make plans, but God orders our steps. But sometimes we tend to forget that God is not preparing a way. He already knows the way. He's just preparing us for the way that he's already prepared. Like, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part of it. And that's what we're going through the pressure for. If we don't get the trials, the challenges, when we get on that path that he's prepared for us, we fall off. We're not ready for it. We're not even there yet. So all of that, man, like Aaron, what you said, man, and you know, G, man, it was perfect. And I love how it all came together because I wrote it down and I was like, man, I'm just gonna let him go in and start talking. And God was like, see, I told you, I got this thing figured out. And it's crazy, man. But I'm gonna turn it over to y'all again, man, because Aaron, you said something that brought up was something else that I highlighted in the Bible about pressure, right? You were saying about how you're going into it, and it made me started thinking about Matthew 9:17, right? And it literally says, and no one puts new wine into old wineskins, for the old wineskins will burst from the pressure. Now that made me started thinking about what you said, Aaron, because now it ties in, right? We're trying to go in this thing at our own way, and God is saying your way doesn't work. It doesn't work. You're just like that car, right? I told you what to do. I gave you indications that the car was building up from pressure. The oil light came on, you ignored it. You know what I'm saying? The tire pressure light came on, you ignored it. Now it's burst, right? Because we're out here trying to put the old wine in the new wineskins, right? And God is saying, no, that you can't fit into the new that I'm trying to get you in. So this is what I'm bringing the pressure for, to get all of that out of you so that you can go in the new wineskin. And Aaron, you brought it out, and I had it highlighted, and I was like, you know what? I gotta bring this up because this is literally what we're going into. So I have to throw this around, like the pressure of getting rid of you. The pressure of you dying to become what God is trying to make you. What are some of the struggles faced along that journey?
Ooh, man, it's all a struggle. But I think that's the good. The good thing is, just being honest with you, the good thing, there's no problem with struggle. The problem is when you give up in the struggle, when you go back to the old you. God wants you to struggle because He's given you something that lives on the inside of you to help carry you through the struggle, and that's the Holy Spirit. And I think that the whole thing, sanctification, is this process where you go from being a spiritual baby to a spiritual grown up. And as you going, the way it works is it's the reverse of the natural order, right? And like my son, the older he gets, the less independent on his parents he's going to become. But us as followers of Christ, the more mature we get, the more dependent upon Christ we're going to be. And I think that the pain and the pressure comes in is when I have to relinquish what I thought I had control over and to let God invade that area of my life. That's always where the tension is for me. Always where it is. When I remember when I was 21 years old and I was wrestling with my call to ministry. I remember where I was in that space, right? And I remember what it was like to fully surrender, to be fully surrendered to God, but to still have a whole lot of foolishness in my life that I needed Him to invade in. And so literally, man, it was like he just started chiseling that thing away. And so the hard part is, the pressure is to take your hand off of something and let God control it. That in everything, whether it's your just get real, whether it's your thought life, whether it's your old habits, whether it's old places you used to go through to, whether it's relationships you got to kill, whether it's because you got to plan not to sin. You can't, you'll never make a decision in the moment
again.
Like you got to plan. You'll never make the decision in the moment. If you wait till you in the moment, you've already lost. Like I remember, when I was discipling this dude, man. I was a youth pastor. He would say, "Man, Pastor Aaron, I struggle every time I get in the car with her. I can't keep my hands off of her." I say, "Hey, bro, I got a solution. Don't get in the car." Like that's the thing. Don't get in the car, right? And that is, to me, that's been the hardest. That's the hardest thing about that pressure of going from the old me and trying to allow God to shape me into who He wants me to be. And that shaping doesn't end until we in glory. You ain't fully sanctified until you get to heaven, right?
Yeah.
The more it's this relinquishing of control and giving it to God. And I'm gonna tell you, here's the good thing about all of that. Every time I've given something over to God, He has blown my expectations. You know, I tell people all the time, sometimes we talk about pressure. Sometimes God has to break your heart just so he can blow your mind.
Oh,
And,
that's good. That's good.
and my heart has been broken because of some things that I wanted that God said no to. And then I look back and that thing comes full circle. And he gave me something that was 100 times better than the thing that I thought I wanted.
Man, that's good.
Yeah. So that's the tension for me is letting that thing go and letting God have it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. Gmeriq, you want to hop in there?
Yeah, man. I think that's just the hardest thing to do sometimes is when you caught up in yourself and you're not trying to let God take control over everything. You kind of trying to be the puppeteer and try to carry everything all on your shoulders and stuff like that. Like we're not meant to do that. Like we're not giants. We're not meant to carry all that weight. You know what I'm saying? And you mess around, get broken down. Yeah, like I try to carry all that weight and stuff. Like nah, you know what I'm saying? Like beating your chest and stuff. Like nah, I'm gonna take it. You get to a point and you just like nah, nah. That's a losing battle, man. Trying to take on everything and just giving it to God, man. That's one of the hardest things to do. Hardest things to do, man. Especially when you're not in tune yet, and you're not ready to kind of give him the keys to the car, and you trying to drive everything, and then you find yourself somewhere you didn't think you were gonna end up being. You know what I'm saying? Just because you didn't fully want to put your trust into him. It's almost like you playing with him. Like you just saying like, oh, let me see how far I can take this before, you know what I'm saying, if he quote unquote want to take it over. You know what I'm saying? It is like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got kids, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you be like, hey man, sit down. And then they'll kind of like look at you and then still try to go jump off the couch. And I'm like, hey man, sit down. And then they want to kind of, all right, creep off. And then you see them jump off, all right. And then you stand up and stuff, and they be like, all right. So I was like, man, what? I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not listening to me, speaking to you. I got to speak in a certain voice. Yeah. So it's just like, it's a certain voice that you hear. You know what I'm saying? That be like, hey, man, you got to chill out. Damn. I got this. Like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Just like some people, like some ball players, be like, hey, man, I'm going to carry everybody on my back. Like, let's go. That's what God wants to do. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, you know, selfish, don't want to, you know, do everything together. You know what I'm saying? They just need that one person, you know what I'm saying, is like, hey, man, I'm going to get y'all over the hump. That's what God's trying to do, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you supposed to get selfish and just be like in their ways, man. And they just, like, they want the glory. It's not meant for you, bro. It's not meant for you, man. It's a deeper thing, man. Like it's all God. It's all God, regardless of what you've been through or where you at right now. The stuff that's coming to you, the blessings that's falling in your lap, man. That's all God. And once you understand that, man,
big facts.
Man, that's good.
Yeah.
E, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, while y'all were talking, man, I got two different analogies, right? You know me, I like to make things live so people can see it. You know, we as unreleasing Christians, we got to see something tangible before we can let it go, right? So, all right, first thing came to mind when Aaron was talking, man, was when your car was ever broke down, right, and you called AAA or whoever, right, the tow truck got there. Did you, when the tow truck person got out the truck, did you say, hey, man, appreciate you for coming. I got it. I'll hook it up for you. Then you can just take it and go with it. Right? Like that's us right there. When God is trying to take this thing from us, we say,
that's
God,
good.
You know what? I got it, man. I'll hook it up. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to carry this thing. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to stop sinning. I'm going to leave that young lady alone. I'm going to stop drinking. God is like, I can just imagine the tow truck guy like, what? You know what I'm saying?
You call me.
Call me, yeah.
And if you
cried out and
And
said,
if you could have, you would have did it already.
you would have did it already, man. You probably wouldn't have broke down in the first place, right? And so, like, that just came to my mind, right? And so, like, we gotta let that thing go, man. Like Gmeriq said, the moment you realize God did it, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. And God has a way of sending you messages, right? Because when you, it's like he just gave the analogy of the kids. I done gave my testimony so many times on this podcast, and I'm gonna do it again tonight. I was in a place in my life just coming out of a marriage, right? Broken, hurting. Like Aaron said, God gonna break your heart. But when it comes full circle, he blows your mind every time. I had just came out of a marriage, and like most young men, because I wasn't taught no better, you know what? I'm gonna just go on this spree of just getting women, drinking, clubbing, doing my thing, right? And God said, all right, man. And I heard the whispers while I was in the club turning up. God saying, hey, son, that ain't what I have for your life. I got you. When I come out of here, I got you. We'll get up in the morning, go to Waffle House, have breakfast. We're going to sit down and talk. God, I'm going to spend some time with you, right? But I wasn't listening. So God said, all right, listen, I told you to stop doing what you're doing. God, look, man, I got it. I'm going to take care. I just want to have a little fun. Then I'm going to get back with you, all right? We're going to do our thing, right? So God said, listen, man, all right, since you don't understand, let me go on and break it down for you. God sent me in a dream, my flesh burning, me smelling my own flesh burning. Never smelled a burning dead body in my life. I know the distinct smell of me burning, all right? If you ain't never smelled nobody's body burning, there is no way you can understand what I'm saying. But if you ever seen a movie and somebody was on fire, you can only imagine in your mind what that smell is like. I smelt that smell. And from that point on, God just kept on pulling me back in, right? And so when you get broken enough, right? Because in that marriage, I thought that she broke my heart. I was on deployment, and later on found out that she cheated on me, right? So God knew to not put me in that place. He put me in Africa and not in Norfolk, Virginia, because I would have did something that would have took me away from him. It would have took me off track of my purpose. Yeah. See, the pressure would have been on me to react to the way the world wanted me to act, or the way that them spirits would have been talking to me like, hey, man, you ain't going to take that, are you? You should go do something about that. See, come full circle. God said, look, man, I already knew that was going to happen, so I took out your life for a reason. See, you got to understand when everything, like it says in the word, all things work together for the good.
Yeah.
All things, all your pain, all your depression, all your hurt, all the lies that people done said about you, all the backstabbing that done happened to you, all the love that you didn't get, all the abuse that you took, all things work together for your good. And when it comes together for your good, just know it was nothing but God. You ain't have nothing to do with it. So quit trying to be like Kevin Garnett on that commercial and going down the court with everybody on your back. You can't walk with that, man. Right? You can't. God said, I won't put no more on you than you can bear. But us as Christians, we sure pick up more than what we can bear.
Yeah.
Right there, bro. Taking notes, man.
Hey, man. Okay, listen. Oh man, it's like point two just coming. Like I don't even understand. Like, this is the crazy thing. Like I said it in a podcast, like in the past. Don't try to understand what God does. Just stand on what God does. Like, our understanding is never gonna hit him. I know in the Bible it says even like the devil and enemies themselves are trying to understand what he's doing. So stop trying to understand what he's doing and just stand on what he's doing. Like, if you're not catching what they're saying, I'm gonna break it down in another like reference so you can see it, so you can understand it. They say, like, if pressure in a tire is too high, the less the tire touches the ground. Now, I want y'all to understand that if the pressure is too high in a tire, the less the tire touches the ground. So if the pressure is too much in me, the less of me touches the ground. That's how we go through. I'm giving y'all something right now so y'all can so the people out in BroTalk Nation can catch up with this, right? And then they say, as a consequence, your car will bounce around the road. Aaron said something earlier, and he touched on it too. Pressure, if we let it get too high and we take God out of it, we bounce around our purpose the entire time. This is like a tire with too much pressure in it. It doesn't even touch the ground. So that means we're not even grounded when we have too much pressure in us and we don't got God involved. And with that, we miss our purpose. Like God is literally saying, you don't understand, Jarmarcus. This pressure that I'm putting you through is to get you to your divine purpose. I don't care about you being here and there in the military and being high and mighty. That does not turn the lights on in the kingdom. See, like God's whole walk of this is, what are you going to do for me in the kingdom? All I care about is you in the kingdom. And that's what the pressure is for. Because all pressure is not bad pressure. There's good pressure, right? I like to think of it as a pressure cooker. The pressure cooker makes something wonderful when it comes up out of that, right? The pressure cooker makes something that we can eat. It makes something like our daily bread. See, when God puts pressure on like these men that's on this podcast tonight, the pressure that we have went through, it made something that y'all can eat. Y'all are eating right now from the pressure that we have been through in our life. I'll give you another scenario before I turn it over. Even I like to think about it. I don't like to just follow the message of Jesus. I like to follow his methods. And I'll tell y'all one time where Jesus himself was in some pressure. We talked about it on the podcast before when he went into the garden and he was asking God to take the cup from him. See, God was he could have walked away from it all. He didn't have to go to the cross. We're talking about Jesus, the man who was walked on water and done everything. He was asking his father to take this cup from him because he couldn't bear the pressure that was going on. Not only did he do it once, the Bible says he went back to the garden 3 times. 3. And he cried. I told you this while we was at work. I started thinking about that cup. I started thinking about what cup means and what happened with Jesus in that moment. Jesus, his cup, he got confidence under pressure. See, the cup was the confidence under pressure. That's what I got from that story in the garden, that Jesus was asking for confidence. See, with me, and I'll give you a testimony right now, in the pressures in my past, I never had confidence. When I felt pressure building up on me, I wasn't confident that I can be better than the pressure. I would go ahead and lay down and fall out of my struggle and say, Jarmarcus, you're not good. So I would lose everything in that moment. But when I started reading about that and I started looking at what Jesus did, he got powered up in the garden. See, sometimes you're going to need to pray more than once. Sometimes we pray once and be like, you know what, I'm good. And God is like, no. You got to come back to me. I need you to come back 3 more times. I need you to get this confidence. I need you to get this angel the same way that went to Jesus to come give you that power up, that confidence in that pressure. So I wanted to turn it over to y'all because I started thinking about that while y'all were talking about getting about getting confidence under pressure. And I wanted to ask y'all, what are some of y'all ways to be able to get that confidence under pressure so that y'all can share, especially with men with us, because we have a lot of pride and sometimes we don't like to ask for help. Sometimes it's hard for us to go to somebody else. But what are some of those things that y'all use to get that confidence under pressure?
Simply think about what he done already brought you through. I have to continuously kind of think about what he already put me through. That way I can be grateful for it from when things arrive or when things is good. You remember when it was, not going the way that you quote unquote wanted to go. I just think simply just thinking back on times where you were going through it, and then when the next thing arrives, like you're just like, okay, I went through that, and I'm about to go through this, but I'm prepared for it. Like I'm good. Like it's like he with me. Like I'm ready to fight through it. Like
Mm.
it's nothing that like if I didn't went through that, you know what I'm saying? Like I can go through this. Like it's gonna all be good. Like you're gonna feel, pressure, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I almost at this point now, like I welcome it. Like I just like, like come with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
that's
I'm ready.
good.
Like I got, and the thing is like I'm not doing it alone. You know what I'm saying? When you going into a battle, when you go into a fight, man, and you trying to go at it by yourself, you know how that's gonna end up. But when you got like a squad, man, when you got like some folks that's covering you, man, that's praying for you, that's building you up. You know what I'm saying? You got some friends that kind of hit you up, you know, accountability and stuff like that. They kind of keep you on that path that you need to go on, that you need to keep fighting through, walking that path and kind of check you when you tripping. You know what I'm saying? I think those are great things that you need to stay confident going through, pressure. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that, hey, if I slip up and I fall, somebody there to kind of pick me right back up versus to, you know, kick you down. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll beat myself up. I'll beat myself up. I ain't got to worry about nobody coming to beat me up. I'm gonna beat my own stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I need, what I'm saying, that accountability, that brother to kind of pick me up, man. Those are certain things, man. I think we use to go through the pressure, man.
Man, that's good.
It's dope. It's dope. Yeah. I think for me, man, you said it, Jamarcus, when you talked about the life of Jesus, prayer. I think prayer is not only powerful because of the one who says it, but because of the one who hears it. Um,
Mm.
prayer, prayer is it's an opportunity. It doesn't just change the situation, but it also changes you. And the thing that Jesus modeled for us in the garden when he prayed, he said, "Not my will, but your will be done, Father."
Mm.
And
Yeah.
prayer is not only an opportunity for us to talk to God, but it's a chance for us to listen and hear for what God has for us as well. And it humbles us. I think this constant humility,
Yeah.
understanding this, that the reality is God doesn't owe us anything. We're all instruments of His grace and mercy each and every day.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, He should have killed us for some of the decisions that we made. He should have took us out. He should have allowed that thing. But by His grace, by His mercy, He's withheld some things from us that we deserve, and He's given us some stuff that we do not deserve. And so I thank God I lean on His grace and His mercy each and every day. Y'all talked about community. Um, Listen, Christianity was never designed for us to do it on our own. As men, I know we're prideful. I know we like to isolate. I know we like to figure things out on our own. But the reality is, this thing was designed for you to lean on other brothers in Christ to help you in the moment. There are countless stories. There are
Man.
countless stories in the scriptures where God set up a situation so that the person that was quote unquote the leader had to depend on other people. Moses had to
Mm.
depend on other people. David had
Man,
to
that's good.
depend on other people. Solomon had to depend on other people. The disciples had to depend upon each other. Jesus gave all of them times where they had to do that. The apostle Paul had to depend. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Timothy, Titus. It's this thing where vulnerability, humility, and leaning on your brother in Christ comes into play, and that has helped me through. Listen, there's been seasons in my life where I would not have made it through if it wasn't for brothers praying for me consistently and calling me and checking up on me
Yeah.
day to day. I mean, I think we can, and I think the last thing too. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. You know, you guys are military. The easiest way to lose a battle is to not know you in one. Uh, and so for us, we got to realize that we do have a real enemy. That he is roaring around like a lion seeking to whom he can devour. Uh,
Yeah.
but as long as you know that lion has nothing on the lion from Judah, and you understand that you've got it, that Satan's job is to discourage, discount the word of God, and to use the truth to get you to believe a lie. As long as you understand the tactics of the enemy, you can call it for the fake that it is, right? You know what I'm saying? He is the great deceiver. Y'all know that the U.S. Department of Treasury, when they training people on how to spot counterfeit money, they don't give them fake money. They give them the real money. They give them real money, and they spend time with the real thing, so that when the fake thing comes across their desk, they can call it out because they spent so much time with the real thing.
Hold on, man.
That's the reality of our walk with God. Is that when you spend so much time with the real thing, with God, you're able to spot out. You're in a battle. This is spiritual warfare. That you have an enemy who wants to knock you off track. But the moment you forget that's Satan's biggest tactic, is to get people to think he don't exist. And the moment you forget about that, you're more susceptible to falling victim to his schemes. So I think that's something we got to keep on the forefront of our minds. It's like, okay, trials are tests that come from God. Temptations come from Satan, and they're trying to move us away from our purpose. James talks about that. Man, you brought up James. James is keeps coming back up, man. So yeah. Those are things that are constantly on my mind. And it took me a while to get to that place. But I'm talking to God. I'm in His Word, because if I want to hear His voice, that's one of the clearest places I can look to hear His voice is in His Word. Yeah. He speaks to me so much when I'm in His Word. I'm listening to Him, and I'm understanding that I got an enemy out there that wants to see me fall, and I got to know his tactics. Yeah.
Okay. E, man, go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and you know what I'm saying, hit that one up, man. And man, that was good, Aaron. That was good, bro.
Thank you,
bro. Y'all two brothers tonight, man. Good God, man. Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna bring it full circle today, man. The enemy tried to get me today, right? I was sitting there with my son, was getting ready to head out the door for the day. And for some strange reason, I got to talking about his haircut and stuff. And he got to talking about his mom's fiance. And just talking about how, he did a good job on my haircut. And I'm like, well, son, I know how, when you know how something's supposed to look, it's like, well, he tried, but it wasn't how it's supposed to be. And like you said, Aaron, the enemy has a way of using tactics to start whispering little things in your head. It was like, oh, he trying to replace you as his daddy. He don't even look at you as his daddy. And, my son kept talking back. So then he tried to use my son to, to keep talking back. And just like Gmeriq said, hey, I said sit down. I said to stop. You know what So, when kids get to talking back, it's like, hey, I don't need you talking back, just do what I told you. And they just keep going for some reason. So as we were walking out the door, man, I got in the car and, turned the music on. I just said, you know what? No, not today. Nah. See, you trying to use my child against me. You trying to whisper a lie to me because he don't understand what the whole entire situation is. He's never been an adult. So he don't understand exactly what I'm saying to him. Mm-hmm. He just knows, as in a child's place, what's going on. But me as the adult have to recognize and realize where he is. And so I can't get mad about a situation that's the lie. Because what the enemy tried to say to me was, he trying to replace me, but you can't replace DNA. God made me the shepherd of that young man in there. So there's no way to replace me because it was already written. Mm-hmm. I think Jesus said the same thing to the enemy when he came up out the water after being baptized and got tempted in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Because the enemy tried to use the word against Jesus on Jesus. And all he said was, it is written. My father said this. See, I had to go back to my father. And in that moment when just like you said, when you spending personal close relationship time, that's just like any relationship. If you spending time with your wife, y'all gonna have a closer connection. If you spending time with friends, you're gonna develop into best friends. If you spending time with your kids, you're gonna have a great relationship with your kids. God is the same way. If you spending close relationship time and not just any little time, because hey, fellas, it's Father's Day tomorrow, but if you don't spend no quality time with your wife, you ain't getting no gift. You know what I'm saying? Your kids ain't gonna even think about you. All right, you're gonna get a pack of socks, all right, because you ain't spending no close relationship time with it, right? But when you in close relationship with God, this is where your confidence is built, because then you know that every day a test is coming. That's why he told you put on the whole armor of God.
Yeah.
The whole armor. Don't put on just the hat because your body gonna get shot up.
Mm-hmm.
With us in the military, we're not going into a fight with just a gun and a hat. It don't make sense. You're gonna come back in a body bag, right? The enemy works the same way because he's looking to see what piece of equipment you are not equipped with. Are you equipped with your own thinking, or do you have your guide and your manual to help you get through every situation that's gonna ever happen to you in your life? See, your life was already written out. God knows the beginning and the end, Alpha and Omega to your life, right? So I had to go back and say, you know what? Hey, that was a good trick. You almost had me. But here's what my father said. That's my son. I'm the shepherd to that sheep in there to lead him back to God. So whatever you trying to say right now, see, this is the time that I spend with my son for the summer. I don't want to create a moment where when he thinks about his summer, when he gets older, he remembers his dad going against another man that's going to be in his life too. Then I look like what the enemy says, because then the enemy is going to start speaking to him. And then that's going to cause tension between us. So now we can't spend personal time together. And now we got a relational bond that's been broken. See, it ain't always a set out way that the enemy works. He tried all kinds of different. He's like Mortal Kombat. He got a combination to everything. If you that person that gets stuck doing the low kick like with Liu Kang, that was me. I couldn't play Mortal Kombat. I had 2 or 3 combos. That was it. But see, as my journey in this walk with God, I had to go back into the command list to get the rest of the combos, right? To start back speaking to the things that God said and not what the enemy says.
Yeah.
Right. So understand that, man, when that pressure get on you, man, like, hey, don't listen to what you hearing up here, but God said be renewed in your mind. You got to spend time with God. You got to fill your mind up with God. You got to fill your heart up with God. You got to fill your time up with God, because all of that is filled up. You ain't going to come. It's hard to sin. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be real hard for the fellas out there that still deal with looking at young ladies and still chasing them. It's going to be real hard for you to sin and go into sexual sin and any other thing that may come your way. It's going to be hard, man. So, yeah, that's it, man.
Hey, man. So we done broke the hour time. We done already hit up a lot in here. I know y'all probably tired of us sitting on y'all couch, but hey, I just gotta say, man, first and foremost, all glory and thanks go to God. But I do want to say thank you to these 2 godly men that are on here right now. You know, I've watched each and every one of you, and man, took down a lot of notes, tools in the toolbox. Wisdom has came from y'all, so I'm very thankful to God and put something in y'all life that put pressure in y'all life that y'all have overcome. And I'm letting y'all know I'm eating off y'all daily bread just as much as well. So I am very thankful for Aaron and also Gmeriq, man. Like I said, man, if y'all don't know, follow him on the gram, follow him on Facebook. If you all out in Dallas, go check my brother Aaron out in the church. If you in Atlanta, man, hit up Gmeriq. Go download some Grateful Tape mixtapes. I just want to make sure and just let you guys know I'm thankful for y'all, coming on, blessing BroTalk Nation with these words, with all this sauce that came on tonight, man. Man, it's been good, E. It's been good. Yeah. It's one for the books.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll turn it over to y'all one last time if anybody got anything to say, and then we're gonna be out.
Yeah, man. I just appreciate y'all for having me on here. And it won't be the last time, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got an
Yeah.
awesome thing going on here, man. And it's gonna spread like wildfire, man. I just know it. And just keep at it, man. I know sometimes we get, discouraged sometimes in the
Yeah.
moment,
Thank you.
but
Thank you.
one thing last year showed us, man, it had us sit down and kind of had us like facing our fears like dead on, like it was right there. We couldn't go nowhere, man. And I just think like moving on forward to progressing in the years, after this, man, I think it's gonna take off, man. It's gonna be awesome, man. I appreciate y'all, man. It was an honor, man, to kick it with y'all.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Likewise, man. So grateful for the opportunity to come hang out with y'all. Whatever y'all need, y'all know I'm available. Hope this ain't the last time. It was an
Oh, nah.
incredible time.
Yeah.
And listen, y'all keep letting God use y'all. There are so many brothers that are waiting to hear what God is doing through y'all that need to hear y'all. The line is long of brothers who you don't even know are waiting to be impacted by your ministry. And just know right now, even when the enemy tries to discourage you, the line is even longer of brothers who have been impacted by your ministry that you don't even know about. And so continue to not grow weary in well doing, continue to hold up the bloodstained banner, and continue to walk in your purpose and what God has called y'all to do. Because eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man what God has for you. So yeah, just continue, and don't listen. Don't let the enemy gain any ground, man. Y'all keep repping the
Yes,
Savior.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
All
Sir.
right.
Hey, man, it's been another great one. Again, we thank you, great men of God, and just for blessing us again, man. And thanks to my brother Jarmarcus, man, for letting God use him to say, hey, bro, let's do it this weekend, right? Getting started because we didn't know what we were doing, but we just went. And as you can see, when you feel with God's purpose and the light that He put in you, man, He's just gonna ordain and order every step. So, um, hey, don't let pressure create fear in you, right? Fear is a lie of the enemy, right? God ain't put fear in no scripture in the Bible that spoke on His name, right? Because He ain't got no cap on His name, all right? So, hey, happy Father's Day to all the great fathers out there.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
man, continue leading your kids, the sheep, being the shepherd. Hey, let God use you and be the great father that God ordains you to be. So, hey, salute to you guys, man. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your pack of socks. And, hey, we'll see you on the next one, man. Be blessed.
Hey.
Sir,
Yes,
sir.
sir.